Hey vinyl community, this is Chris. I'm here to do this vinyl tag that is popular at the moment. I think it's called Around the World with Steve Carlson or something to that effect. But so I've got some albums that I've pulled to show, and I'll play a couple of samples, and I'm going to rephrase all the prompts in the form of questions like, what reggae album would you show? And then I'll shorten that up to show a reggae album. So it'll sound just like the prompts were, but I'm going to call them questions. So, and that's how it starts, with a reggae album or something influenced. So I'm going to start with this influenced by reggae album, Barry Reynolds. He was a collaborator or played with Marian Faithfull for a while. He did some back cover. He may even have guested with Grace Jones on an album, but on the Island label. So this would even qualify for James Griffith's albums with the big heads on the cover. But that's Barry himself. So this is his cover of the I Scare Myself song by that San Francisco artist. He even played guitar with Black Uhuru, so to give him more cred for this answer. All right. And number 2 is foreign language record. A record in a foreign language. So I'm going to show this one here. This is Latvian chorus. I think somebody included this in a order I had as a filler. But so it's sung in Latvian, if that is the language of Latvia. Looks like a Melodia label. And another way to go would have been playing Magma. They went as far as to create their own language on the A&M record. This is Kontarskos, something like that. Hard to pronounce, but well, I won't play that but they made up their own language, which was a phonetic-based language, and they used Slavic and Germanic language as their building blocks for that. So, Magma. Then number 3, Tribal Beat. So from 1981, I'm going to pick Frank Kogo on the Tamale Sounds label. His album Hidden Treasures. Tamale Sounds. Then we're going to do something from the Far East. So I had a girlfriend, her dad was stationed in the Japan or Korea or Okinawa or all of them. And so she came back with some records from over there. So Sounds of Korea. And then the other one is this solo piano album by Yamashita Yosuke, Breathtache. On the Frasco label. So some improvisation going on here. While we're hearing some tribal beats still in the background. Okay, next album is Sitar. Something with sitar. So for that I picked Big Jim Sullivan, Sitar Beat on Mercury label. So let's start with this one here. And my alternate choice was going to be Incredible String Band. Talking of the End, which is the first track on here, would have been a suitable example on Electra. Okay, and then the next prompt question, something from Scandinavia. So here I've got modern Scandinavian music as played by Elizabeth Klein on the Philips label. Looks kind of standard Philips label. So Per Norgard, Bo Nilsson, Arnie Nordheim, some Scandinavian composers, and my alternate was going to be this one here, the Den Dansk Quartet. So the Danish quartet playing a host of Danish composers. Niels Viggo Benson, Mr. Olsen, Westergaard, and Peter Holm. String quartet music on the Fonsa label, the Fona label. And what album would you show to represent Africa? So I would show this Abdullah Ibrahim or Dollar Brand album, Boswell Concert, 1973, and it's featuring B. Benjamin on vocals. So a South African pianist there, Abdullah Ibrahim. There's the label. And next we go to Australia. So more string quartet music by the Austral String Quartet. This is primarily a Peter Sculthorpe album. He's got 3 of the 4 songs on here, and then Felix Werder gets 1 track. Oops. EMI label. Peter Sculthorpe for Australia. South America. So, got some Danças Brasileiras, tangos, waltzes, and corinhos, played by Arthur Lima on piano. This is a pro art. And we've also got this solo piano album by this Uruguayan pianist, Raquel Bolderini, playing a bunch of South American composers, Ginastera, Plaza, Cluso, Mortet, several others. There's the pianist. And, okay, an island country. So I was going to show Planxty representing Ireland as part of the UK, but I decided against that. Or I decided to go something even more Iceland by Richard Penhouse on the Polydor label. Iceland. After that, the Middle East. This makes it easy. Piano music of the Near East rather than the Far East on the Vox label. Amarin Reggae is the pianist. So it's got all these Middle Eastern composers, including Ilhan Mimaroglu, Hossein. The pianist himself has a composition on here. Calamari. Ben Chaim. So there's the Near East. Oh, then we've got a cold country. So I'm picking Finland as the cold country. So 20th century piano music, Finnish piano music, played by Lisa Karhilo. And you might be able to see the 3 Finnish composers there. Kokkonen, Rautavaara, and Sibelius. And that's volume 1 on the Musical Heritage Society label. There's the pianist. And that was so good they continued it for volume 2. Bergman, Kokkonen again, Maricato, and more Sibelius. Musical Heritage Society. we go to garage rock. So for the garage rock, I'm going back to Australia. So I picked Easy Beats. This is the US version of their maybe third or fourth album with the big hit Friday on My Mind. I'll put it on the non-hit and see how that works out. That was on the United Artists label, and I just had that stored away with their next album, I think. Falling Off the Edge of the World. United Artists. Okay. Favorite album from another country. So I'm picking this Cluster and, well, not Cluster. Eno, Mobius, and Rodelius, After the Heat. So this album from Germany. There was the label for the Easy Beats. So put on a sample of this Sky label. This is sort of their pop album, it seems. This might be Broken Head. That's what I was attempting to get. Followed up by Bell Dog. So after we get past the favorite album, what would you pick as something that's difficult to pronounce? So I picked this one, which people have noticed if they saw an earlier video I did was difficult for me to pronounce Frederick Shevsky's name. So I think I'm a little bit closer now. So this is he's playing his own compositions. There's a drawing of him. This is a Vanguard audiophile recording. Frederick Shevsky. And it's also a digital recording. But another one that I thought was difficult to pronounce, some more solo piano, recently reissued. I think Dave at Local Bandography showed these in some video. But Emahoy Segway Mariam Gebru. So less difficult to say, but it's harder for me to find out where I've got it cataloged because of the spelling changes a lot. But two solo piano reissues. On whatever Mississippi Records. So then I thought I needed a bonus question on this one, because we covered 6 of the 7 continents. So what would represent the 7th continent? So I added that question in, and so start out with this John Cale soundtrack CD. There's the CD, which is pretty much him doing piano and vocals. But Antarctica, which seemed like that was like a Spanish version of Antarctica. So some stills from the movie, credits, John Cale. So Antarctica, and then another solo piano album, Richie Bearrock, and his album titled Antarctica. Right up in there, there's all the tracks. So that way we've got the 7 continents covered, and we've got all this other stuff and a few samples. So thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.